You may take a moment of silence now if you wish. Okay, that's enough. Jeremy Kyle is no more. Not as a person. He's very much alive. It's one of his former guests that is very much dead. And so is his show. After all these years, finally, Jeremy is having the axe swung down on his titan of entertainment. Jeremy Kyle, a bastion of values. Well, that's how he's always appeared to be. You know, some people will be celebrating this. Some people will be very upset because they live for Jeremy Kyle. They love him. It makes them feel better about their own shitty lives. Or if you're like me, it's like, okay. Doesn't affect me really. You know, even when I was unemployed, I watched Jeremy Kyle for years. You know, sort of the staple of, you know, the unemployed day. Jeremy Kyle, This Morning, Loose Women, then a bit of Boo Bar. Used to love watching a bit of Boo Bar in the afternoons. High as fuck. So Jeremy Kyle show is axed by ITV after the death of the guest. Now, so Stephen Diamond was found dead on the 9th of May, a week after filming the show, during which he took a lie detector test. And so ITV's chief executive Carolyn McCall said the decision was a result of the gravity of recent events. The broadcaster had initially suspended filming of the show, which has broadcast more than 3,000 episodes since it began in 2005. Fuck me, 3,000 episodes, right? Now, you probably get a few guests that come back, maybe twice, once or twice. I think on average, you probably have, like, from what I can remember it, maybe about 6 guests per episode. So what, 6 times 3,000, so, I don't know, like more than 16, 17, 18,000 people have been on fucking Jeremy Kyle. Ain't that many people. And think about the people that haven't got on. That many people have, like, just aired their dirty laundry on fucking Jeremy Kyle. It was crazy. That's crazy. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister's spokesman called Mr. Diamond's death deeply concerning. Given the gravity of recent events, we've decided to end the production of the Jeremy Kyle Show. The Jeremy Kyle Show has had a loyal audience and has been made by a dedicated production team for 14 years. And now is the right time for the show to end. Everyone at ITV's thoughts and sympathies are with the family and friends of Steve Diamond. Yeah, I don't think they're going to care too much for that. But then again, it's probably some of his friends and family that have dragged him on there, I'd assume. Previously announced review of the episode of the show is underway and will continue. ITV will continue to work with Jeremy Kyle on other projects. Well, we look forward to what Jeremy does next. The pre-recorded episode Mr. Diamond took part in was based on the subject of infidelity. Aren't they all? A member of the audience who was at the recording told BBC News that Mr. Diamond collapsed to the ground and was sobbing when he failed the lie detector test. I used to work on the Jeremy Kyle Show, this says. Oh, is that linked to something? Alright, shut up. Lie detectors were a regular fixture on the programme. Yes, they were. Which often featured disputes between partners and family members. Critics said it put vulnerable people, often with issues of addiction and mental health, on a public platform, bringing them a level of exposure they may not have expected. Accurate. The Jeremy Kyle Show was the most popular programme in ITV's daytime schedule, with an average of 1 million viewers and a 22% audience share. On Tuesday, Charles Walker MP, a member of the all-party parliamentary group on suicide and self-harm prevention, told BBC News that Mr. Diamond's death was a watershed moment. He said, "Societally, we have a responsibility for why this TV is made. It's a reflection of ourselves, and that it has been made, and so many people watch it." Completely fair statement. Absolute truth. It's cruel. There's enough cruelty in the world without showing it on TV. Well, a lot of TV is just cruel by nature these days. Has been for a long time. Also on Tuesday, Sir Simon Wesley, who was president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists until 2017, described the show as the theatre of cruelty. After Mr. Diamond's death, ITV suspended filming and took all planned episodes off the air, adding that the episode featuring Mr. Diamond would never be screened. Well, I mean, if they're released on DVD, a lot of people will probably buy it, though. Probably. A lot's changed in 24 hours. It has been rapid. I mean, this is like when they banned guns after Dunblane. It was like, pop! Yesterday morning, ITV were minded to wait for the coroner's verdict before deciding what to do with the show. Alright, okay. Yeah, okay. Could have been accidental. I get it. The past 24 hours, the evidence has grown that his appearance on the show had a devastating impact on Steve Diamond. That evidence and the fact that ITV is plastered across the front pages once again will have weighed heavily on the board's mind. Yesterday morning, ITV were minded to wait. Oh yeah, sorry, I read that. Blah, blah, blah. That evidence and the fact that ITV plastered. Blah blah blah. The company's director of television, Kevin Liger, has tried to reinvent the broadcaster, and this program was an anomaly. I hate that word. I hate saying that. Anomaly within his offering. Different in tone and editorial approach. Nevertheless, it was a ratings hit, and much of its loyal audience will be despondent about it being pulled. For all that, it's vital to remember that this is ultimately an exceptionally sad story of a troubled individual who's found dead in his flat. Now, before we read what Owen Jones has to say, because whatever he says, I'm going to fucking shit on it. You know, it's surprising that this is the first time this has happened, but it's not the first time it's happened because of shows like this. In the 90s, there was a show in America called Jenny Jones, and there was a guy on there, he was a gay guy, and he he declared his love for one of his work colleagues who was straight. So straight, in fact, that after the show, he murdered that guy. The guy murdered the gay guy. Yeah. And as far as I remember, Jenny Jones was not cancelled. And that's pretty mad. This kind of show, like Jeremy Kyle, is just, be straight up. There's a certain class of people that go on Jeremy Kyle. Facts. People watch it to mock them, to feel better about themselves. You know, it's curtain twitching on a whole nother level. People that go on Jeremy Kyle, from my understanding, some people generally saw going on Jeremy Kyle as like a last resort to help sort situations out. That genuinely has happened. Look into it. The thing is, you got to remember about people. If you don't understand why people go on Jeremy Kyle, I'll give you some examples of what people are like. You know, countless times I remember, being in public places like on buses or in a pub, and you overhear someone just airing all this fucked up shit about their life, like talking about, all kinds of mad shit. Oh, my uncle fucked me with a bottle in my arsehole. Like, I've heard shit like that. But saying it really loudly because they want people to hear it. Some people just want all their shit on display. They want everyone to hear their stuff. There's this, it's mad attention seeking. Some people love attention so much that it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad attention, as long as they're getting the attention. And that's kind of the sort, a hell of a lot of people that go on Jeremy Kyle are like that. And it's countless people like that in the world. You'll meet them every day. You know who I'm talking about. They're all out there. So, are they being exploited? Some, we could say, are being exploited. There is an element of exploitation, but some people are just exploiting themselves. Some people want that. They really do want it. They want it. And there's an outlet for them. And people that put together these kind of shows know this. We've had shows like this for fucking decades. Look at Jerry Springer. The difference is between Jerry Springer and Jeremy Kyle is Jerry Springer didn't really champion his show. He's always kind of been like, oh yeah, my show's terrible. He's admitted it's trash. It's done nothing but wrongs. But he does it because all he ever cared about was he's a political campaigner, like his Democratic Party campaigner. He campaigned for gay rights and all kinds of stuff. And that show was just paying the bills, I suppose. Obviously, he has the legendary status. Occasionally, Jerry Springer had stuff on there that he really cared about. One about Holocaust survivors, where he started breaking down in tears. But Jeremy Kyle, obviously, was, the king of moral. He was the moral king. He was always like, think about the child. How can you be drinking every day when you've got a child? Are you an idiot? He just berate people. Excuse me. He just berate people. That's what he loved doing. I remember my friend telling me that he used to listen to Jeremy Kyle when he was on the radio before he got his TV show. And they used to love him because people are phoning in and he just cuss them right out. He would take no prisoners. He'd go, they were saying, well, I'm seeing this woman and then I'm seeing this girl on the side and it's becoming really difficult and I don't know what to do. And he goes, what do you mean difficult not to do? You've got to dump her. Are you mad? Are you mental? What is wrong with you? Like, just fully just going to town on people. Just going, but like, motherfucker, what is your problem? It's like, are you a fucking idiot? He's kind of saying shit that we all want to say to certain people, to be honest with you, in a very self-aggrandizing way. You got to admire his approach, is what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of snarky, but it's like, come on, all these mad people coming on saying, I'm having a paternity test because these 3 women say I'm pregnant, say they're pregnant with my child. And he's like, you disgust me. What is wrong? Fuck you. Like, it's like, you're a piece of shit. Like, I think most people respected him for that, like, for just cussing people out, just going, what, you fucking twat. And that's basically what he did. Morally repugnant people going on that show, and he just tears them a new one. That's kind of what it was. Is there a place for that on television? Well, there's a place for it somewhere. And obviously, like I said, people would go on that show to expose themselves. They wanted the attention. Some people see, not smart enough, unfortunately, to realise the implications of going on a show like Jeremy Kyle. I went to school with someone who went on Jeremy Kyle, and also one of my old friends' dad went on Jeremy Kyle to have a paternity test. So I know some people who've been, I know of, and some people who've been on Jeremy Kyle. That's what that is. I did a really good parody of Jeremy Kyle that I put on one of my early comedy podcasts. There's a video of it out there. I'll put a link in the description. You can have a listen to that. It's basically sums it up nicely. So I wouldn't like shit all over Jeremy Kyle and what he does. I mean, to a certain extent, you're the ones watching. It's there's a market for it. There's a market for it. Does Jeremy Kyle and that psychologist that he always gets people to go see, are they doing it because they care? Or are they doing it, I don't know, who fucking knows really what drives them to do this kind of thing? I mean, it's made him very successful, it's made him a household name, it's given him money. I don't know, but I wouldn't outright vilify, I wouldn't outright judge Jeremy Kyle that harshly. It's the culture, it's part of us, it's us. It's like, there is an exploit. Yeah, they are exploiting people to a certain degree, but people are exploiting themselves. People are putting them, because people just like to do this kind of thing. You may not understand it. I do to a degree, because I just see it all around. I know people like this. You do too, like I said. And it's fucking entertaining. You watch it because you look down on these people. If you find something morally repugnant and you don't like it at all, then you won't watch it. No, for me, I won't watch shows like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, purely for the only good thing about that was Ant and Dec's little bits in between. Those two were quite funny. I'll admit it. That was entertaining. But all that shit, the cruelty shit about fucking eating bugs and getting put in baths of worms and all that shit, I find that shit disgusting. And I think that taps into a part of us that's fucked. Seriously, same attitude, watching public hangings and just reveling in the humiliation of people. I've always found it disgusting. You want to talk about getting moral and shit. I find it horrendous. I just don't understand it. I'm like, that's just gross, man. What the fuck? Why the fuck would you want to watch that shit? Why would you I'm being serious, like, I find that, and what the way they turn Big Brother into this cruelty fest and all this kind of shit, I find that sort of television just despicable. It's despicable. This is coming from someone who talks fucking mad shit, right? But that kind of thing it says a lot about us. Jeremy Kyle, it represents us, okay? It's as simple as. Now, what is Owen Jones going to say? Owen Jones, author of Chavs, The Demonisation of the Working Class, was among those who welcomed the decision to pull the show. Well, Owen liked anything cancelled he doesn't like, doesn't he? Jeremy Kyle consisted of putting vulnerable people from disadvantaged backgrounds in stocks to have eggs thrown at them. It's a decent metaphor, but it's not entirely a balanced and nuanced view of the situation. Like I said, a lot of these people want everyone to know about their shit. It's a weird part of certain people's human nature, Owen. They like that. It's not that you don't get much out of it. You can get a free paternity test, obviously. I don't know, lie detector tests aren't exactly something you can get on the high street. You know what I'm saying? But they put you up in a fucking Holiday Inn, like pay you a little bit of money, travel money, and that's about it. And you get to be on TV. That's all they give you. It's nothing. They're not exactly like the carrot on the stick. Isn't that generous a carrot? It fueled an agenda of demonising poorer people, which helped legitimise cuts to the welfare state. Shut the fuck up, Owen. You're a fucking dickhead, bro. You really are a class clown. The Grand High Prince of fucking clown world has spoken. Owen, yeah. It fuels an agenda of demonising poorer people. To a degree, maybe, but it legitimizes cuts to the welfare state. Owen, you see the people that go on that fucking show who are on benefits, yeah, maybe it did, because some of them motherfuckers that go on there that were on benefits, you think, what the fuck? I'm paying for this? Hell no. So maybe you are right, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad thing, Owen. It depends on how you look at it. Get the stats out, Owen. Get some stats out. Anyway, I've had enough of reading his nonsense. Piers Morgan, who hosts Good Morning Britain, a show Jeremy Kyle has previously guest presented, defended the host on Twitter. As everyone piles on Jeremy Kyle, I'd like to say he's a great guy, an excellent broadcaster, and hugely popular with the vast majority of people who watched and appeared voluntarily on his top-rated show. So much snobbery and hypocrisy being spewed by his critics. I think isn't it weird how Piers Morgan could make a more fair point than Owen Jones? Very bizarre. All previous episodes of the Jeremy Kyle Show have been taken down from the ITV website, apparently. Jesus. A spokeswoman for Portsmouth Coroner's Office said an inquest into Mr. Diamond's death would be likely to be opened within the next few days following the result of the post-mortem investigation. A spokesman for broadcasting regulator Ofcom said, while TV has decided to cancel the programme, its investigation into what happened is continuing and we will review the findings carefully. You do want to watch stuff to look down on the impoverished. There's always Benefit Street, isn't there? There's still shows like that going. Watch that, I don't think it's sort of looking at the poor. It's looking at a certain type of person. It's a certain type of person. Never got really hood ghetto people on fucking Jeremy Kyle. Do you know what I mean? They're always from some crappy town. Everything's crap. Always pretty ugly. It's certain types of people that went on Jeremy Kyle. Like I said, everyone's sort of got fairly decent points. Like I said, I'm not going to miss it. I don't watch it. But the fact that you've had just one, like I said, probably about maybe 16 to 18,000 people have been on that show, and this is the first sort of mad incident you've had in 14 years, and then you pull the plug like that, it's like, yeah, I get it, kind of. It's kind of hard to justify, especially in this age of outrage. This is a difficult situation. But, you know, for someone to kill themselves, I don't know, is it a snap decision? Is going on Jeremy Kyle the thing that pushes you over the edge? It hadn't even been broadcast yet. Maybe he was at that point, you know, maybe he was at the wrong point in his life. You don't know. We'll have to see what the verdict is. But, yeah, that's the self-righteous moral king that is Jeremy Kyle, without his show where he cusses out people for not having the same moral standards as him. R.I.P. R.I.P. baby.